And this game of virtual reality is the best tool that we've ever seen utilized by you, that will cause you to teach you that you can choose your vibration. Esther, in the first days of playing with it, got all worked up one day, and she said, I can damn well choose what will be my dominant vibration. It's time for me to choose what is my dominant vibration. I'm not going to let it be something that's happening someplace else. I'm not going to let it be something that's happening in my neighborhood or in my community or in the Middle East. I'm not going to let others, in whatever mess they've gotten themselves in, even if it is someone I adore, like my parents, I'm not going to let that set my tone. Now, Esther was not exactly tuned in, tapped in, turned on as she was speaking in that way, but she was very much in stage one of making the decision. The rocket of desire was bubbling within her, and when the rocket shot out, she said, I can choose how I feel. I can choose what I think about. And then she set out to do it. She has the good fortune of driving 400 or 500 miles nearly every day. And while they are driving, it is a very nice time. Esther gets behind the wheel of the big monster bus. Jerry goes in the back and puts his headphones on and works on whatever he's working on, and Esther does virtual reality. So as we're moving forward here today, we'll play the game of virtual reality, and you will feel the sweet relief of finding a thought off the subject of your concern, putting you in the place of allowing, and as you practice it again and again and again, what you will begin to notice is that within about 30 days, less in some cases, you will be in charge of how you vibrate. And when you are, you'll be in the place of allowing more often than not. And when you are, those things that you've been asking for that have seemed stubbornly stuck will break loose. No exceptions. It is law. There. You are ready to begin? We are eager to talk with you about anything that you're wanting to talk about. There is no order of business here. You will discover a nice unfolding. We call this co-creating at its best. It is lovely to have this intimate gathering where together it is our absolute knowing. We will take thought beyond that which it has been before. Good. Where are you wanting to begin? Come forward, if you will, yes.
I have issues with people that I'm going to say are evil, people who do things that are not in line with my idea of what universe would.
Now let us give you the benefit of the doubt and say maybe they really exist and maybe they really are. We've just got one question to ask you. Activating them in your vibration is not going to serve you. And it's going to keep the dollars that you want from coming, even though it's a totally different subject. In other words, it doesn't matter what you use as your reason, your quote reason, to hold yourself in that place of negative emotion. You're not in the place of allowing. So are we saying that some evil person that you're focused upon and feeling angry about could keep you from your financial abundance? Yes, indeed.
Well, actually, my question has more to do with how the laws work. And if we are working with the assistance of spirit and emotion that spirit gives us, how can someone, I mean, clearly they're using the same law, someone who is doing something that is against another, murderers or terrorists or whoever, how could they be getting the assistance of spirit and that emotion? It just doesn't make sense that they would be getting good emotion from spirit, even though it's what they're wanting. How can it be in line with spirit?
It's an interesting thing to try to define what evil is, because most people think that what is evil is what somebody else wants. In other words, as you describe murder, think about soldiers at war. It is certainly murder. They are certainly killing. Mm-hmm. And each praying to God to assist them in having triumph over the other. Or when you think about the terrorists, how do you decide which is the terrorism and which is the response to the terrorism? In other words, where did the terrorism start? Did it start with what I did to you, or did it start with what you did to me in response to what I did to you? In other words, who gets to decide where it all started?
Right.
It is not possible to be in alignment with that which is source and be in that place where you're pushing against something else. Here's a way that you might hear it. So, someone lives in a beautiful, sort of pristine environment, and they notice that developers are coming in and scraping off the hillsides across the way and putting in developments. And they are heartsick because their beautiful natural landscape is being disturbed for a while. Eventually, the houses will be there and the shrubs will grow back and it will not be such an eyesore. But right now, it looks bad. And this person is heartsick. So this person says, I've got to stop that. But the development just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And the factor that we're wanting you to focus upon here is that the developer is focused upon what he desires, while the protester is focused upon what she does not want. Everyone can identify a desire, and when they are in alignment with their desire, the alignment happens. In other words, it's not an arbitrary God trying to decide whether your desire is worthy or not, and if it is, giving you the goods. The whole question is, are you, the asker, in alignment with what you are asking for? That's how it works. So a terrorist who believes in his cause, who wants well-being, and who believes in his cause, can often be much more in alignment than those that are horrified by it and wanting to now destroy the terrorist. In other words, everything is about the personal, individual alignment. We're wanting to bring you to the place, or to help you to discover how to bring yourself to the place that you're able to allow others to live whatever it is that they are living because it's about their alignment, but not let whatever it is that they are living be the basis of messing up your alignment. That's what happens with so many. They look out into injustice, and they feel such discord of injustice as they watch it, that then they are misaligned with their own source, and well-being doesn't come to them, and they are using that injustice as their excuse to not allow it. Evil is an interesting thing, because when people use the word evil, what they are almost always saying is, you are doing what you want instead of what I want you to want. They use evil in the same way they use selfishness. People say you are so selfish, and what they mean is you're satisfying your selfish desires when I want you to satisfy my selfish desires. And I want to feel good, and I can't feel good unless you do what I want you to do. And we say it's time to stop calling selfish a bad thing, and it's time to start understanding that we are all selfishly motivated because we cannot perceive other than through the eyes of self. And when we are perceiving through the eyes of self, we are wanting to feel good, and when we are feeling good, we are always in alignment with that which is source. So source will always promote variety. Source will come to anyone who asks and allows, and source is disallowed never by source. Source is only ever disallowed by individual who gets crossways of the energy of source. So, is it possible for you or anyone to decide that you're going to destroy someone or something, whether it's a nation or an individual, and you've decided that you can't live happily with them existing, and so you're going to destroy them? Is source energy assisting you? No. You are not in alignment when that happens. You are not in alignment when you feel fear. You are not in alignment when you feel hate. You are not in alignment when you feel angst or guilt or blame. You are in alignment when you feel love. You are in alignment when you feel exhilaration. So then someone might say, I saw people in war who were exhilarated. And we say, then they were in alignment. And you say, well, how could they be in alignment in their act of pushing against? And we say, they were reaching for their cause. In other words, there's a big difference in working for something you believe in and in pushing against something that you do not believe in. It's like the football players. They gather in their huddles and they each pray that the other will be defeated. And we say, not an easy thing for God to figure out, and God doesn't even try. And the team that wins is the team that was most in alignment with their desire, every single time, no exceptions. And so it is our wish for you, for all of you, that you could stand in this place with unfulfilled things, feeling joyful at the fact that it is continuing to become, satisfied with what is and eager for more. It is the optimum experience.